In my previous message, I said that we were going to cover what happened next in the Garden of Eden. But I got so excited by these 5 verses that, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to talk about it now. And it's like a side note that Moses gave. A side note. And I don't even think Moses realized everything he was saying. Let's dig into it and see if you can agree with me what I discovered. Genesis 2:10-14. And a river went out of Eden, that's what we said yesterday, to water the garden. And from there it was parted and became 4 heads. That means 4 springs that developed into other rivers. The name of the first is Pison, and that is it which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Interesting. And the gold of that land is good, and there is bdellium and the onyx stone. These are weird stones that most of us don't know about, but they're precious stones. And the name of the second river is Gihon, and the same is it that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. Ooh, there's a clue here as to the land that the spring in the Garden of Eden would service. The name of the third river is Hiddekel, and that is it which goes towards the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Here, in the form of a side note, we are apparently given a clue as to where the Garden of Eden was before the flood. This we get from the 4 rivers which had a common spring in the Garden of Eden. The amount of water gushing from the spring in the Garden of Eden was apparently so great that it fed 4 rivers which branched out into a very large area. When I looked at it and reread it, I got so excited. The first was the Pison River. Pison means broad flowing current. That's what it means in Hebrew. Yep. Or Pison, Pison. And according to the Eastern Bible Dictionary, it means broad flowing current. The river was so wide flowing that it surrounded a land of Havilah, known for gold, bdellium, and the onyx stone. Gold is a metal signifying purity and holiness. Every time we find that there is gold in the Bible, it's a symbol, just like white is, of purity and holiness. Because gold cannot appear as gold until it's refined. Onyx was a precious stone adorning the breastplate of the high priest and the shoulders of the ephod, a sacred vest. That's, yeah, later on, Moses, Aaron had an ephod on. And bdellium was apparently an aromatic gum like balsam, which exuded from a particular tree still found in Arabia, Media, and India. Now, remember, this is probably one of those editorial additions of Moses. The Garden of Eden. He tried to make that point. The Garden of Eden was exceedingly holy and beautiful. Beautiful beyond comprehension. The second and most notable river was the Gihon River, which went south, incorporating the entire Nile watershed, because it talked about going into Ethiopia, right? The third and fourth are the Hiddekel, which is actually the Tigris River, and the Euphrates rivers. Remember, before the flood, the world looked quite different from what it did later. And there was no Red Sea in the way. 2 Peter 3 verse 6 says that the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. In other words, what we see today is not the same as what was before the flood. As such, these four rivers were probably not anywhere that we identify today. However, God chose to include this so we could find a point of reference and that it really did exist at one time. The Garden of Eden and its watershed was apparently south of present-day Turkey and located somewhere between the Nile River and the borders of northern Iraq and Iran. You see, God does not recognize our human borders. Folks, do you realize that this was the same land promised to Abraham and his descendants? From the Nile, the great river of Egypt, all the way to the Euphrates. That was promised to Abraham. Wow! God had apparently charted and marked out the same parcel of land for his chosen people after the flood as he had before the flood. Not only that, but this same area could be, in my opinion, the landing site of the New Jerusalem coming down from heaven in Revelation 21. Wow! I assure you, I am not seeing something that isn't already there. It's hidden in plain sight. And it would have been missed if I were not studying Genesis in such small 4 to 5 verse segments and in great detail. Folks, Eden was special. And the parcel of land where those rivers surrounded, that's special. More than we can ever understand. And that was what I was excited about.